Greetings friends, Jared here with a very unlikely follow-up video for our good buddy right here, Doc Nocturnal. Now, you may remember if you'd watched the original video that I had a few QC issues with the figure, and of course I had some notes in the video that I was in the process of getting those solved. This video will be about that process and about how that turned out. It's also going to be about the gear that was released to go with Doc Nocturnal, and just giving you the chance to see that on the figure. So just right out of the gate, let me just talk about the quality control stuff just really quick. On the original one that I had, this leg was incredibly loose right over here. Well, Mezco sent me a replacement body. Of course, I just sent back the original. And as you can see, none of that's the case anymore. It's pretty much perfect with the way it moves. It's everything works just right, and it holds the pose as well. Now, over here on my original, this one was the one that was much tighter. And it's also in good shape, holds poses just fine. However, it's kind of funny because now this one is slightly loose, but it's nowhere near like what this leg was on my original. So it's funny that there's still kind of a difference between them, so I don't really know what that says about the production of the figure, but at least it's not nearly as much of a difference as it was. So that's been addressed. They also sent me a replacement Doc Nocturnal head, just the standard head. And of course, this is the one that they sent me. It almost seems that this one kind of has a heavier wash on it and it has a little more detail. Almost like my first one had not only missed getting the inside of the nose painted black, but it almost missed that final layer of polish on the paint job. So I was really glad to get one of these. Overall, the whole process took probably about a week and a half. So I think that that's pretty commendable. I think that's a pretty good turnaround time. And they actually sent me the stuff, the replacements, without me having to get my originals to them first. So even though they didn't let me keep the originals or anything like that, I still appreciate that they went ahead and had confidence enough just to send them out. All right, so let's go ahead and show you what you got in this. And in the last video, we talked about this. This was just more of an accessory kit for Doc Nocturnal. This actually has a name for it, the Van Helsing Wapenkammer. So it's his vampire eradication armament. So here we go, use it with extreme caution. I have all of the gear that he came with for that currently loaded onto the figure. So let's just have a quick look. First off, you can see that we have a totally brand new head that he came with. And like I said, in my unboxing, you can see that it's just, I believe, more like the Moon Knight head that they had done. I don't have that figure, but I've read online that that seems to be what people are comparing it to, and it's very similar. Of course, there is a cross, and yes, I'll show you what it does. And you can see if I turn the studio light out, yes, the cross on the head actually glows. It's kind of a green glow to it. I think that's a pretty neat little effect. It's not a super bright glow or anything, but I mean, look at how small the thing is. So it's not going to be putting out much. Just kind of a neat Easter egg, just something that I thought was worth mentioning. We also have his bandolier here. And it's funny because I think this thing is adjustable. It is probably a little big on him as it is, but with a cape up here, it kind of tucks it under anyway. So it kind of holds position, and I don't want it to be too tight anyhow, because this way you don't actually have to unbuckle that fastener on the back. I wasn't sure if you'd have to or not, but all you have to do is actually just remove the head and just slide it over the arm, and it goes right on. So that was very easy to put on. Of course, there is room for additional stakes through here if you do want to put them, and it does come with several more, so you could do that, so you get plenty of extras. I have another one in his hand right here, so I think it's great that you can keep them fully loaded on the front. I think if you start adding them over here, you start getting a kind of a busy look, so I'm probably just going to keep it the way it is. You can also see that you can replace at this little peg right here, you can actually, instead of having a belt pouch or his device, you can actually have the sheath and his knife in it. And I've got the knife in there right now, but if you want to see what it looks like out of it, it comes with an extra one. So it's just kind of like almost like a large razor blade. I think it's interesting that they went with kind of a brighter, shinier red for that sheath, and doesn't really go with some of the others. I think it's neat though, because it kind of goes with the red on the eyes, so it brings that out. And we have this cool little device here, which looks like a mini crossbow, and you can see that it's just handheld. It has a hard time fitting in this grip. You can see it's kind of coming out over here. What I really need to do is just heat the hand up and then slide it in, and it should be fine after that. But I think this looks really cool, and you can definitely get the idea of what they were going for. So it's funny how much this really does transform the figure. and it really does give him a completely different look. A couple of other little notes. This is one of those funny alien dissection tube things that you can get at Walmart that's like $10 or $15. And it's funny because I saw it and I thought, you know, that kind of looks like the little like chamber that he gets out of in the comic. So you know what? I just put it back there and put some of his equipment on it. I may actually go in and really try to customize that up and kind of do a wash on the top, or maybe even paint that silver and kind of add some painted details at the bottom. I think that may be neat, especially for Doc's chamber that he gets out of. And, you know, of course, we're not really privy to exactly what that means in the comic, but I thought that was pretty neat. So overall, I have to say that I'm pretty satisfied with my experience with Doc Nocturnal. It was certainly kind of a bummer when he had the problems that he did, but Mezco was pretty quick to really get on it and fix a lot of those issues for me. I realized that even though that I got the replacement body, there's still a couple of little issues where, you know, that one leg is still slightly looser than the other, so the problem is kind of flipped. But it's nothing like the original, and I would say that the extreme looseness in that first one was probably more of a one-off. However, I do hope that Mezco kind of keeps an eye on things quality control-wise and make sure that nothing like that slips through in the future, especially if a character's nose isn't painted on, or in this case, a lack of a nose. So, like I said, took a week or two to get remedied, but you know what? They were pretty quick about it, and my hat's off to them. I think they did right by me, so I appreciate it. Another way that Mezco has done right by collectors is with the Doc Nocturnal Phantom Knights membership kit. Just a couple of days ago, Mezco actually went ahead and converted many waitlist orders for the Doc Nocturnal Phantom Knights membership kit. As a matter of fact, maybe most of them, maybe all of them. I'm not really sure. But it's funny because they really answered exactly what I was talking about in the last video when I was talking about the aggravation that people were feeling with this thing. And you know what? It appears that they solved that. It appears that they really tried to make sure that almost every one of those waitlist orders converted. And my congratulations to you if you were one of those lucky people, because this is a super cool set. And you know what? You even get this ring out of it. So there you go. It's great to have a lot of nice, genuinely positive things to say about the experience. And I do think that this is proof that it does seem, at least in my case, I can't speak for everybody, but at least in this case, it does appear that Mezco are taking care of people. So I do appreciate it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate each and every view. Of course, leave your comments below. Did you have similar issues? Did you have to try to get a replacement? Did you make it off of the wait list and onto pre-order? Do you have one of the Phantom Knights membership kits coming? What do you think is next for Doc Nocturnal? Do you think we'll see other versions, just more accessory kits? I'm curious about your thoughts on this and just many more things below. Of course, we'd love to hear from you. And of course, we would appreciate any likes or subscriptions that we can get. We're growing the channel just as fast as we can and trying to make new videos just, if not every day of the week, most days of the week. So we're really trying to push it right now and just see what happens. And we're just so thankful for the great response that we've gotten so far. Anyway, guys, that's all for me. And until next time, you guys be safe out there, especially during this time. God bless you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.